So we're going to be going basically into either an overhead squat or like a snatch type of position. Obviously there's going to be a few things that we want to be focusing on in terms of our movement and mobility. Again, our ankles are going to be generally quite restricted for most people. So we know the actual mobility that we can do for ankles. A test to see if it is an ankle restriction is simply to bring your feet together as close as possible and go into a squat. So if you can squat down and you've got a deep squat, that means your ankle mobility is fine. If it's limited, then you want to be therefore working through some sort of mobility. The ones where you know, of course, you can use a plate up against the rig and then simply leaning into it, pulling the hips into the rig, and same again, bending the knee, pushing the knee into the rig as that gets different muscle fibers actually into the calf. So that's to help out with loosening off the ankles, but we know that right now. Same thing goes for the overhead mobility at the same time. Now, sweet PVC pipe for me. To test it, if you've got a good overhead range of flexibility, is to simply lounge your back, bring the knees up to 90 degrees, so you're going to flatten the back so it's going to take out any extension through the lower back, and you're just going to hold your bar. Imagine if you were either overhead press or the snatch position. Simply taking it there, ideally getting the bar on your hands to touch the floor. If they're obviously restricted or too tight in the shoulder, then they're not going to be able to get down to that position. Okay. So a few things that you can do there, ones that we already know, is again placing the ball into the front and just working through the shoulder range of movement to help open up the pecs a little bit and into the shoulder joint. The other ones that we're going to talk about is working through the lats a little bit. So this is where the PVC pipe comes in and the box. So if we I'll get Stefano with me. And get you to do, I'll take it for now, is kneel down onto the floor. Okay. You're going to place your the elbows onto the box, and you're just going to try and bring your head down in between your arms and then towards the floor. Trying to keep a nice neutral spine as well. Coming down that position. So we're going to actually really force that chest open. We're going to give it a try. So on your knees, onto your elbows, once the spine is nice and flexible anyway, just going to bring his hips back and push his chest down. So it's going to really help open up through the shoulders and obviously into the back. To make it a little bit more interesting, if you come back up for me, you're going to try and keep the elbows as close together and then try and hold that PVC pipe as far away as possible. So if you hold here, just in this one. Okay, oops, hold on. Good, there we go. Now, by doing this one, you're not going to be able to go as far down, but it's going to get a nice stretch right into the lats there a little bit more. So you're really rotating that shoulder, therefore it's really putting more stretch through the actual lats itself. So that's quite a nice one. Good. Cool. Again, holding it for 30 seconds at a time. You can build it up to 2 minutes at a time as well. Other mobility drills, excluding the PVC pipe, is again, if you kneel down onto the floor, this is going to be a good one. You can start off, you want to get some thoracic rotation, because with any flexion extension, there's always an element of another movement, whether it's side bending or rotation. So working through rotation will also help your flexion extension movements. So what you can do is place one hand onto the floor, one hand just behind the head, and simply just try to rotate through the middle back. That's quite nice, it's quite limited and really focuses into the range of movement into thoracics. You can then extend on that. If you take the legs a little bit wider, I'd go into one hand for space of support, one hand behind the head again, rotate a little bit more. This time you're getting the whole range of movement through, and again we're thinking about our overhead squat position or snatch position. We can now drop our hips down. If I was to do this, and then drop my hips down towards my heels, I'm going to really open up more so on this hip than this one if I'm turning that way. So it's going to be nice and open, and I drop down, so I'm really opening in those mechanics of that position. Technically it's the opposite side as we work in patterns. Then you do the same thing, of course, the other side, coming down. So, if I use kneel, so you're going to go onto your knees, take a wide kind of kneeling position. Good. Okay, let's do demonstrate it from this angle. So you place one hand on the floor just to begin with. I'm going to assist you a little bit, but first of all, you can put the hand behind your head. Come forwards a little bit first, so you're not going to be putting too much pressure into the hip. And then you're going to just simply rotate the body. Okay, and you're going to feel that, again, extend right through the back. Now if you were to drop your weight down into your heels, you're going to feel that this right side is going to be a little bit more, as I say, a little bit more pressure in there as it's trying to be forced open a little bit. If I wanted to, as I'm here, and we all like Neil, we can give him a little bit extra stretch work. Like that. If I wanted to also further extend work on that, take his hand away, maybe put it behind you. That's it. And then, cool. Good. So that's just one side and then the other side. So that's where you're going to be, therefore if you do one side, technically do the other side, and then overhead. With a nice little flip.